It's a formal Friday. Kind of feels like a Monday. Not going to lie. Today kind of feels like a Monday, right? You had something crazy happen. It feels like yesterday was almost like a weekend, like you feel coming in after a Seahawks game or something on a Sunday, and you got so much to talk about, and everything is all just one game, and that was all you've seen. So, yeah, kind of a Monday vibe, even though it's a Friday. I'm sure that by the end of the show,
furious if we skipped our sleep-in days.
Oh, I know. No, don't worry about that. But there is, yeah, there's going to be some sleeping. But it was, I'm sure by the end of the show, it'll feel very Friday-like. Celebratory, though. What a night last night. Anybody not have a great time last night? That was fun. Great to be there. Kudos to the Mariners. And then just, again, we'll spend most of our morning talking about the game and all of that. And there's a ton in there to talk about. Positives, negatives, everything in between. But the Mariners do a really nice job with big days. And yesterday was no exception. It's just nice down there. Lines, at least that I saw, were not insane, although I will say I got there kind of early, so I didn't get to see. Maybe you guys had problems outside. Everything I saw yesterday was working pretty smoothly. And then, I was there with Avery, my older daughter, and met all sorts of nice people around the ballpark. Jonathan, who we were standing in line with so that Avery could get some sushi, which she loved, and the line wasn't terrible. And the sushi looked good. More, we saw the sushi. I guess I did. You missed the sushi, but I had some of the sushi at the big event a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I would have had some. I missed that one.
Well, and it was good, really good. And I'm like, all right, that's good, but what, you're going to be able to make enough sushi for, what was it last night, 40,000 people, and it's going to look, it was great. It looked awesome. So kudos to them. That was definitely a nice little part of yesterday. And all of the opening ceremonies were great. We'll go through them a little bit and need to know. But it was just it was a really nice night at the park. The fans going crazy for Cal Raleigh. Cal had the biggest ovation of the night, and I'm not even sure it was all that close, right? We talked about whether or not that would be the case. Being introduced, especially right after Julio. And look, the Julio ovation was huge. The Cal one was just like even bigger, right? Did you guys hear the same thing? I'm not crazy on that, right? When they were just introducing each guy.
Accurate.
Man, I thought the ovation for Cal was really, really nice. So just a cool night at the ballpark. Start with that. Then you get to the game. And you got a little bit of everything that makes this Mariner team unique in that game. First of all, you got the starting pitching. I know we're going to talk about, sort of the fireworks at the end. And yes, I'll answer a lot of the texts that came in here about Randy and Polanco and Thornton and a whole bunch of other stuff. But start off with Logan Gilbert. That's why the Mariners are a contender. That's why. Right? Doesn't matter what else happened in the offseason. Doesn't matter. Like all that other stuff, while important, is not the foundation. That's the fixtures. Right? That's all the finishings. The foundation is the pitching. And when you see Logan just completely dominate the A's like he did last night, he was dominant. I know he gave up the home run. Other than that, he was barely even in trouble all night. He finished that game. I have this in need to know. Hold on. Let me just look. I wrote it down. I want to make sure I get the numbers right. As good as Logan was through 7 innings last night on opening day, 8 strikeouts, 2 hits, no walks. He only threw 83 pitches. It wasn't like 8 strikeouts, generally strikeouts take a bunch of pitches, right? If you want to get deep into a game, throw a whole bunch of ground balls. No, he still managed to strike out 8 over 7 innings, but he does it while only throwing 83 pitches. He wasn't in any trouble. All he did was give up, unfortunately, a big solo home run. So that was just a complete dominant performance from Logan Gilbert, and that was awesome. As for the hitting, it's funny. We're going to talk about approach over the course of the day, and we're going to talk about philosophy and style because you got to see kind of a little bit of everything. What was interesting to me is that for all of the conversations we had, and I know there weren't as many strikeouts, but they only had 7 strikeouts yesterday. What kind of won them the game was the old philosophy. Bunch of walks, right? They took 7 walks in the game. Yeah, you'll take that every day of the week. And a bunch of home runs. That's the same. Remember all the times we were talking about the strikeout issues, and I would say, look, it's not about the strikeouts. It's about the walks and the home runs. You got to walk and hit home runs in order to make the strikeouts worth it. Well, they didn't strike out as much yesterday, which was nice. But what wins you the game? Walks and home runs, man. You gotta take your walks in Major League Baseball. You have to. You have to be patient at the plate. And then you got to hit your home runs when you have the opportunity to do so. And the Polanco home run was great. Certainly, we will talk more about that and his big day. But it was not the highlight for me personally, as you might imagine. It was this.
Again, the 0-2 on the way to Randy. Swinging a well-hit ball deep to left field. This game is tied. Goodbye, baseball. Off the facing of the upper deck. And in the upper deck in left field. And that was a bullet to left. Randy Arozarena with his first home run of the season. And this game is tied at 2. Holy smokes, what a shot by Randy.
It wasn't just a shot, man. The shot was a huge part of it. I mean, it was great. I mean, he uncorked. He destroyed that baseball. He got 100% every bit of his listed at 185 pounds. I think he's bigger than that, just my guess. He got every bit of that into that ball. But the reaction afterwards, you kidding me?
The bat spike.
I mean, in game one, not even a game-winning home run, man, do I love that energy from Randy Arozarena. I mean, look, unabashed Randy fan, as I've told you guys many times. Unabashed fan of Randy Arozarena's. Love the way he plays the game. I just love his cool factor, man. But I see this text that came in right before the show started today from 360. I'll read it to you. I see the Randy home run spike of the bat as a statement, not this year. This isn't last year's team or the year before that's team or any other. I see that as a message of things to come this year. Colby. I don't know whether it's that or not. To me, it's probably more just how Randy Arozarena plays the game of baseball. It started the moment he was introduced to the fans. Right? If you were watching if you were there last night, you got a chance to see it. You know, they call in, everybody on the team gets introduced on opening day, including the clubbies and the trainer. Like, everybody gets their introduction. And, you know, for some people, it's a little polite applause, right, and all that. And then you go through all the guys that aren't starting that day. And what are you saying, Lyle? You all right?
Say that one more time.
I said everybody gets their polite applause, right? Yeah. And then you go to some guys, and it's you know, Mitch Garver gets a nice cheer, which was nice to see for him, and you know, you're kind of going through it, and then Victor Robles got a nice cheer. Julio obviously comes out with the trident up, which was great, and Cal got his enormous ovation as he was in the bullpen, and then you get to Randy, and Randy's like losing his mind. He was as into being introduced and running down the red carpet or magenta carpet, whatever it was, as anybody.
Yeah, he kind of did that soccer style, you know, it wasn't his classic, like, crossing of the arms. It was almost like he threw his arms diagonally.
Yes.
It was really fun.
I loved it, right?
He jumped into the air while doing it, all that.
It just made it seem like, yeah, it was almost more like a, like the LOB or something like that when those guys would come out of the tunnel, which isn't something you generally get in baseball because it's rare to have everybody introduced. So to see Randy take advantage of that moment, maybe he's done that for years in Tampa. I don't know. But I thought that was like, it started there with Randy and then just kind of continued throughout the game until he hits that home run. And you got to go through all of it, right? The home run is smoked. I mean, absolutely smoked to left field, no doubt about it. Before it's even out of the infield, Randy has already turned to the bench, to the dugout. He spikes his bat as hard as he can. He gets everybody. He's given the fans the, like, let's go, like the opposite of the quarterback thing, like an NFL defense trying to get the crowd hyped for a big third or fourth down. He gets to third, stops, and does a jump shot to the third base coach. What? That was awesome. I loved it. Touches third, comes home, celebrates with his teammates, gets the trident. I love the whole Randy Arozarena package. I do. I love it. And you got to see it yesterday. I know the day is about Logan. I know the day is about Jorge Polanco, and we're gonna spend some time on both those guys. I promise. I'm not trying to leave anybody out. But the energy that Randy brings, the vibes that he brings, all of that, to me, is why you went out and got him. He's a good player. There are better players in Major League Baseball than Randy Arozarena. But when he's on, this is why he was, to me, the number 2 most intriguing Mariner behind Julio. When he's on, not only is he such a complete offensive package with the speed and the size and the home runs and the power and the get on base. Like, Randy does a lot of different things really well on a baseball field. But the biggest thing he does is he brings juice. Go back and rewatch him or just remember him in the World Series against the Dodgers. It felt at times like it was Randy Arozarena against the Dodgers. He was like the only person on that Rays team because he just had so much freaking energy and juice. The Mariners have needed that. This town needs that. We don't have enough stars in town. Randy can be one. He was in Tampa. Remember Rick talking yesterday about, the few people, Felix and like the people who've had sections for them, Julio? Randy had one of those in Tampa. It was Randy Land. And after he got traded, he went out and sat there with the fans on his last night just for fun. This guy connects when he wants to, when he's happy, when he's engaged. And I think you got to see all of that last night. I thought it was an incredible night for him, but everybody else as well. All right. Well, we really do appreciate you guys watching our videos.
And remember, you can like it, you can subscribe it, you can download the Seattle Sports app so you never miss a minute.